In 1949, the Washington Post published an article about a priest who claimed that he had successfully conducted an exorcism of a 14-year-old boy who lived just across from the Washington, D.C. border in the town of Mount Rainier, Maryland. Meanwhile, a Georgetown University student named William Peter Blatty read that Washington Post article and it stuck with him for many years. He eventually decided to write a novel based on that real-life exorcism while making a few changes in the details, such as the kid's gender. In 1971, The Exorcist was published and it soon became a bestseller. That novel led to the classic horror movie, which featured Linda Blair as the possessed kid. For years, many locals claimed that the original Exorcist kid lived in a house in Mount Rainier located at 3210 Bunker Hill Road. The house was later destroyed in a completely unrelated fire in the early 1960s. There is now a small park at that location that is open to the general public from sunrise to sunset. There is a small flower garden, but the gazebo is definitely the main focal point. Inside the gazebo is a brightly painted bench where you can sit down and just take a look at the surrounding area. There is also a path behind the gazebo, which leads to an empty field that's adjacent to Mount Rainier Elementary School. The field itself is only open to the general public when school is not in session. Otherwise, visitors are limited to only the front of the park with the gazebo. There is also the strong possibility that this location is really not the famous Exorcist house. In 1998, a local writer and historian named Mark Opsasnick decided to take a look at the original story that inspired The Exorcist. After interviewing old friends and classmates of the boy and looking through old newspaper clippings, land records, yearbooks, and other documents, he made a startling discovery. The boy and his family never lived in Mount Rainier. Instead, they lived just a few miles away in the neighboring town of Cottage City. That Cottage City house is located on 40th Avenue, across from the Cottage City Town Hall. Unlike the other location, that house is privately owned and not open to the general public, so you're only going to be able to see the front of the house. If you want to learn more about the real-life story that inspired The Exorcist, I highly recommend reading Mark Opsasnick's article, which I listed in this video. You can find it online with a quick Google search.